So we're solving two-step equations today. Let's write that down. Solving two-step equations. Okay. So let's just go ahead and we'll do a few here, and then we'll continue on delta math for the second part, okay? All right. So write that down. I just want to write down the steps involved, okay? So we're going to write down the steps. And guess how many steps there are? 2. Kind of convenient since it's called a two-step equation or two-step equations. Okay, step number 1, and it has to be in this order. We add or subtract it depends on the equation. Add or subtract to remove a constant. That's the key word, because we're going to have to identify what's our constant in the equation. Okay? That's step 1. Step 2. Divide or multiply to eliminate the coefficient. Coeficiente. All right. So go ahead and write those down. And let's begin. You guys ready? I see a couple people still looking up and writing, so I'll give you a moment. So we're going to do a few examples. They're all going to be two-step equations. Okay? So here we go. Here is our first example. Again, we're kind of going right into the deep end, because if this was a regular 7th grade class, I would start just all positives. But we need to be comfortable with the negatives right away. Okay? So here we go. Negative 4x minus 11 equals 21. This is a two-step equation. Okay? It doesn't just have one operation. It's not just a multiplication or a division or adding or subtracting. It's got both. It's got subtraction, right? Minus 11. And it's got multiplication, negative 4 times x. So it's got both things going on. So we need to start with the first thing. We need to identify the constant and the coefficient. Okay? We won't do this on every one, but we'll start with this one. So eliminating the part that says equals a number. Which of the numbers would you say is the constant? The constant's a number that's being added or subtracted. Yes, Alexis. 11. This is our constant. You can even think of it as negative 11 if you want, because of the minus. So this is the constant. You know how I usually find it? I find the coefficient first. Obviously, which number is the coefficient? Negative 4. It's always the number that's being multiplied or divided with a variable. Okay? So here's the coefficient. First thing you do, kind of cover up your whatever the equation equals, whatever number it equals. Identify those two things, the coefficient and the constant, and then take it from there. Because the first thing we have to get rid of is the constant, the minus or negative 11. How do we get rid of that? Think of it as a subtraction equation. Yes. Yeah. It's an addition equation. Or add 11, right? I knew what you meant. So on both sides, I'm having a pen malfunction here. There we go. On both sides of the equation, we're going to put a positive or plus 11, okay? Let's see what we have left. Bring down the negative 4x. That's still left in the equation. And on the other side, we have, well, we have 21 plus 11, 32. This is our new equation. We've removed the constant. Now we have negative 4 times x. We want to get x all by its lonesome, which means get rid of the coefficient. And that says divide or multiply to eliminate the coefficient. In this case, it's a multiplication equation. We're going to divide. We're going to divide. And what should we divide by? Negative 4. Remember, whatever number exactly, if it's positive, divide by that positive. If it's a negative, divide by that negative. We're going to divide by negative 4. Because negative 4 over negative 4, that's a great big one. 1 times x is just x. So we end up with this answer. X equals negative 8. 32 divided by negative 4. Okay? And that is our solution. Any questions? All right. So that's the first one. That wasn't too bad, was it?
No.
We survived. Okay, let's try a few more. Let's do number 2. Negative 56. So this is about the level of the equations we'll see on today's assignment. Equals 5n minus 11. Okay, let's write that down. Do you notice how the variables and everything is on the right side of the equation? We can rewrite that if you want. Do you want to rewrite it or leave it? We could do either. How do you guys feel? Leave it there? If we leave it there, just cover up the negative 56. Which is our coefficient? 5. What's our constant? 11 again. Negative 11. I like the way you said that. So let's get rid of that negative 11 again. Same thing. Add or subtract to get rid of the, remove the constant. Add again. So we'll do a plus 11 again. It's okay. Okay. So let's see what that gives us. Negative 56 and 11 is going to be negative 45. Bring down the equal sign. We didn't do anything with 5n, right? 5n nothing happened with it. So just bring it down. So now we have this equation, negative 45 equals 5n. And we want to get rid of our coefficient. And it tells us to divide or multiply. Well, since it's multiplying, we're going to divide. And we shall divide by just 5. The exact same number. Since it's positive 5 here, we divide by positive 5. In case you're wondering, how does that work? Well, what's 5 divided by 5? 1. You always, every time you do that step, you want 1, because 1 times n is just n, right? And we want to end up with n as an answer. So that cancels. And on the other side, I have negative 45 divided by 5, so that is going to be negative. So you could write it as negative 9 equals n, or n equals negative 9. Okay. Again, not too bad, right? Okay. So let's move on to this one. Number 3, I'm going to try to fit number 3 in here. I think we have enough room. Number 3 is negative 76 equals negative 10 times m plus 44. Okay. And I want to solve that. So let's do it. Look at covering this up. Which one's our coefficient? Negative 10. So that means 44 is our constant. And we want to get rid of the constant first. So how do I remove that plus 44? Yeah, let's put a negative or... Okay. Cancel that. And let's see what we get. Wow, it's a big number. That's going to be negative 120. Bring down the equal sign. I didn't do anything with the negative 10, so there it is. Okay. So here we go. What to do now? It's a coefficient, so I should either divide or multiply. What do you think? Divide. Negative 10. So it looks like we get 12. Positive 12 equals m. All right. Question. Okay. So we have to do 3 more. The next 3, they're going to, instead of the coefficient, it's going to be kind of a fractional coefficient. We'll deal with those a little more tomorrow, but this is the basic ones that we want to talk about. It's going to look like part of a division equation, okay? So let's do number 4. You guys ready? Let's move on to number 4. I'm going to push this up slightly, and number 4 is going to go here. All right. And so let's start with a simple one. X over 2, or x divided by 2, minus 65 equals negative 57. Okay? Write that down. Yes. We're almost. Let's finish this up, okay? You guys need to take care of these things during break now. Okay, so I'm going to cover this up real quick. And do you see what we have to do first? Hopefully not by now. What's our first move? Yeah, and the constant's negative 56 or minus 56. Whatever number is dangling there being added or subtracted, we want that. Oh, 65. I'm sorry. Okay, write this down. Okay, and so let's do the opposite. And bring this down. And let's see what we get. We still get x over 2 equals, and let's see, What's that going to be? 8? Negative 57 plus 65? Do we get 8? 8 it is. So we get x over 2 equals 8. And we want to get rid of that dividing by 2. Think of it as dividing by 2. Multiply. We're going to multiply. This time we're going to multiply on both sides. By 2. Because the 2 that we multiply cancels out the 2 in the denominator. And we end up with x equals 16. Because 8 times 2 is 16. Okay? Any questions? Okay, we'll do 2 more. Okay, next one. Negative 13 equals 17 plus n fifths, n over 5. Okay, write that down. Now, let's cover this up. Do you see what our first move is? We want to get rid of the constant. Which is our constant? 17. What gets rid of that 17? Minus 17. Start looking at the sign of the number. It's positive, so throw a negative in there. On both sides, we'll put a negative 17. Okay, so this gives us negative 30 equals n fifths. And it's positive, it's got a plus. Whatever's in front of the plus or minus, or whatever's behind it, it's associated, so it's positive. Okay, so I want to get rid of this 5 that's in the denominator. It's a division, so we're going to multiply. But what's the catch? If I multiply it on the right by 5, I have to do it on the left. I like to do this because I don't want to think of it as subtraction. I'm going to put parentheses around my negative 30, and then parentheses around the 5 to show multiplication, because I had to multiply by 5 on both sides. So it's 5 times negative 30. Negative 150. And that is what n is. In order for that whole math sentence to be true, it only works if n is negative 150. Okay, last one. Number 6. Okay, and this is about as tough as I'll get today. 9 equals 5 minus y over 3. Doesn't look that bad. Okay. By now, hopefully, you're pretty comfortable with this. What number do we eliminate first? 5. Isaiah, close your Chromebooks, guys. Close the Chromebooks right now. Okay. Let's get rid of the 5. It's positive. Let's throw in a negative or minus 5. People always ask, what is it? Negative 5 or minus 5? It means the same thing. Okay? Because positive with negative, you subtract. And so we're subtracting, and here we got 4. Now, this is where we have to be super careful. This is 4. We bring down the equal sign. What am I bringing down? Yeah, that minus sign. That minus sign comes down. It becomes a negative. And I could make either of these two numbers negative. The one notice how I'm going to write this. I can assign this minus or negative sign to the y or to the 3. It can only go to 1. And in order to make life easier for myself, I want to bring it down to the 3. So this is how I'm going to write this. When you have this situation, write it this way: y over negative 3. That minus was associated here. Okay? Because now, in order to get rid of that, how do I get rid of that negative 3 that's being divided? Yeah, you got to multiply by negative 3. You want to multiply by a negative 3 on both sides, because that's what cancels this. Okay? So let's see what we get. Negative 3 times 4 equals y. Okay? And that is the answer. Okay. So that does it for the notes portion. We're going to do some examples on the delta. You may want to have some paper ready because we're going to do several of these. Okay. So here we are. This is the assignment that goes with the notes. Here's our first example. Let's just really quickly, you should be doing the transformation steps, guys. So negative 6 plus 7x equals 29. So we're going to get rid of our constant. It's 6. Let's see what that gives us. 7x is still on the left side. On the right side, we have to add 29 and 6. That's 35. We get rid of the coefficient by dividing in this case. X equals 35 divided by 7. What number do we get? 5. So over here, they're just asking us to put in what x equals. All right, so there's the first one. Okay, let's do number 2. All right, so we want to get rid of our constant. The constant is the number that's not being multiplied or divided with a variable. So it's negative 47. I'm going to put a positive 47. So I hope you see how you really have to be comfortable with working with negatives now. Because I have a negative 11, combining it with 47, that's going to be 36, positive 36. And then I bring down negative 12 times b. Okay? And so I want to get rid of the negative 12. It's being multiplied with b, so we divide it away. And it has to be a negative 12 to cancel. And that would just leave b over here. And over here, 36 divided by negative 12 is negative 3. So over here, we want a negative 3. All right, so the answer to the second one is negative 3. Let's try number 3. So it's 6 plus a over 2 equals 28. Okay. And we're going to get rid of our constant. It's 6. Bring down the a over 2. 28 and negative 6 is 22. Since it's dividing by 2, I'm going to multiply by 2 en ambos lados. And we get 44. Okay, last one. Okay, this is going to be similar to the one we did in the notes as well. I'm going to get rid of my constant, adding 39. So negative 31 and 39 is 8 equals, again, I have that minus. I need your help, guys. This is, I don't want you to get confused when we get to this step. I have to bring down that minus y over 8. How do I want to write it so I can do it in just one step? Y over negative 8. You know, that minus, bring it to the denominator number, and then just multiply by negative 8. These cancel. Negative 64 equals y. And we got negative 64 here. Okay. So that is how we did those examples there. I hope that helped out, and good luck.